quick heads up, if you're interested at all in picking up a SCUF controller for the holidays, now is the best time possible to do so. My friends over at SCUF bumped my discount code of Espresso up to 10% off as opposed to its normal 5 from now through Cyber Monday. It's the best deal of the year, so if you're interested, head over to their site and use code Espresso. Today starts our early access content here on the channel for Modern Warfare's inaugural season. Today we're going to be showcasing the brand new ground war map, Port of Verdansk, otherwise just known as Port. I think that's what it's actually even listed on the promotional material as, but this is another 5-flag domination map that may have some secrets you may recognize about it, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. But it's also a map that I think is a decent balance of verticality and whatnot. It might be, from what we've played so far, one of my favorite ground war maps to date for the reasoning of the flow, but the verticality is something that I think is a nice balance of where it's at. If you don't like Verdansk district, like maybe because of the excessive height, or you don't like Kravnik farmland all that much because of the lack of height or lack of cover, this is kind of a decent middle ground, I think. With some key power positions and some mean lines of sight, you can do well with just about any classification of weaponry given the right movement. So as we go along, let me know your thoughts below on what you think of the map that you see so far, and of course, if you're looking forward to jumping into it. Before we begin though, I do have to thank my friends at Infinity Ward and Activision for the hospitality, having me out to get this footage, and of course, putting me up in the hotel that we stayed in. But anyways, content-wise, one of the first things you may notice in this video is not even the map itself, and I figured that if I don't talk about it, we're gonna get plenty of questions in the comments down below. But that said, the weapon I am using is in fact a brand new weapon. It's the RAM-7, the brand new rifle, coming with Season 1 free to all players. This particular variant that we're using isn't the base variant. It doesn't come all kitted out as a white variant, but this is instead the Corruptor legendary blueprint of this, a whited out simplistic looking variant with some black accents of the stock RAM-7. I hope it doesn't get me in too much trouble here since we talk about the Battle Pass on Monday, but it's the second to last thing that you'll unlock in the Battle Pass when it's dropped. Overall, the RAM-7 is pretty solid, which, by the way, side note, it is a take on the TAR in this game and can pack a punch in the right hands and with the right attachments on it. I had an absolute blast playing with it here, and I think you'll end up seeing some more gameplay throughout the weekend as we debut some more maps here of the Season 1 content. I think that I end up using this in quite a bit. I had a lot of fun just playing around with it, so I think that it was one of those weapons that I used the most of, but you'll likely see it again throughout the weekend a little more. As for the weapon of the Holger 26, the second weapon coming here with Season 1, admittedly, I don't think that I got footage of that. I'll have to check and see, but from what I saw, it did pack a punch, and yes, you could make the G36 from it. There was a lot of questions about that when it was debuted in the comment section, if you could make the G36 out of it, so that'll be fun to do. You just kind of got to tailor it for all your mobility attachments on that Holger 26. But that said, that's the weapon that I'm using here, the brand new piece with that. But the map of Port itself, like we mentioned in the intro, it's got some key interesting features. Firstly, it's 5-flag domination, it's got some slight verticality, and it's a sort of larger scale 3-lane map, and also that secret that we were talking about. C flag is actually, it's listed as it even on the flag whenever you try and spawn in, it's vacant from COD 4 and Modern Warfare Remastered. So that said, let's talk about these a little bit here individually. As always with the 5-flag domination, there's not much that needs to be said about it. There's 5 flags instead of your normal 3. The map can go upwards of 32 players, so 32v32. I think in this particular playtest, we were ending up playing 20v20 or something like that, just because we had to pull QA and some developers in to seat fill because our group of people was only about 10 to 12 people. But that said, it is custom with everything else you see within Ground War, and it was pretty hectic with just 20 players on each team here at this. So adding 12 more in on each team here, I think that it might be the smallest 32v32 map we end up seeing within Modern Warfare so far to date. That's just a guesstimation, but it definitely felt kind of crazy with just 20 people, and even adding more in, that'll of course make the chaos so much more, and I'm looking forward to it. As for the verticality factor though, again, this has some slight verticality. It's not anything like Verdansk district. It's not anything where it's as low as Kravnik farmland, but it does have some verticality in its own right, but not too much, I don't think. The big key portions you'll see in terms of the verticality is firstly probably the overpass. This overlooks C building as well as mid-map, and to me, I think it's perfect for snipers, but it's also entirely open. So you're taking a risk there 100% if you go up there and try and pick people off from the top. Tanks can get up there, so there's barely any cover if you do go up there and encounter one. So no other risks when you go up there, but it is something that is wide open and does have a decent bit of vantage points on top of that. Then on the other side of the map, width-wise, is the crane scaffolding. This overlooks the Riverside Street and some of mid-map, and it's extremely open. We talked about the overpass being open, but this is literally, you're confined to the little catwalk that is a part of the scaffolding. and that's it. So you could get taken out from literally every which direction, about 180 degrees, maybe a little more than that because you are at the edge there, but it does have a sort of 45-degree angle turn towards the one spawn. So you can get taken out from behind theoretically. Is it going to happen all that much? Who knows? But again, you're definitely still wide open. And then the final parts in terms of verticality are just kind of your second stories of each building. C roof, the D offices up above, and so on and so forth. There are some points where you can look down on enemies, but it's not anything that's too excessive in my mind. Overall, though, the map is kind of a larger 3-lane map where it's relatively all straightforward and open. You do, of course, have those sort of bends towards the main HQs and the main spawns, but outside of that, the main playable area is pretty straightforward in terms of open lanes. You have, of course, your Riverside Street, you have the main street, and then you end up having that overpass and C alleyway that ends up accounting for the other 3 lanes. Now, there's buildings, of course, in between each of those. There are a large stack of crates within mid-map, which, truth be told, I was kind of surprised whenever I saw Shipment listed as one of the 6v6 maps coming in season, which, by the way, we did not play Shipment at our early access event, so kind of assuming it is going to be coming later in the season, but the screenshot actually looked like the mid-map crates within port, so I was kind of confused by that one. But again, other than that, the flow is pretty linear. It is something that does have those open 3 lanes and is something I think you can get acclimated to relatively quickly. Now, as for Vacant being the C flag, again, that kind of being another big key portion here that players will probably want to see. I don't know if this is going to be something where they take Vacant from Ground War and make it a 6v6 map, because again, we didn't play that map as its own in 6v6, but it was there within Ground War. So I'm a little curious as to how that's going to work out, or if that marketing material was showcasing Vacant in port. I don't think that would be the case if it's listed as its own multiplayer map, but you can definitely take a look around. You can go exploring and find it there all out in front of you. Overall, though, I really did enjoy port. It is one that I think, again, probably up there with maybe my favorite Ground War map thus far. Karst River Quarry, despite the cliffside and the tank spam that happens on that map, I do think that that is probably still my favorite Ground War map, just because the flow, I think, is the easiest on that. It doesn't have too much verticality. It does have some, but I don't think an egregious amount of it like Tovorsk District. And then, of course, it has more cover to dip into if you're taking fire as compared to, say, Krovnik Farmland. But that's something that overall I just really did enjoy our playtime here with it. I wish we got more hands-on time, so I'm excited to jump into it on Tuesday when it drops for everybody. Which, just a reminder, it does drop for everybody, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC all at the same time, and it's 100% free, these maps. So that's something you can jump into and, of course, take advantage of. But other than that, I think I'm going to leave you guys with some raw gameplay, let you guys see it without my commentary over top of it for a little bit, but hopefully enjoy the video. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Is there anything in particular you guys really liked here out of this map in the showcase thus far? The weapon you saw, are you interested in seeing more of the RAM-7? Do you know what power position you're going to gravitate towards here within this map? Whatever it is, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But hopefully enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare. And of course, early access content for Season 1. We'll keep you guys updated throughout the weekend and of course through tomorrow, Monday, and then into the update on Tuesday. But subscribe if you guys are new. Follow me over on Twitter and Instagram if you guys want to get connected a little further outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. But that said, thanks so much for watching. Minus Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.
Got a retail station ready to deploy. Hostiles at Delta, go! We're on Echo, stand by. Friendly UAV overhead. Delta, stand by. Securing Echo.